Joining us now is one of over 300 charities and nonprofits supported on the Shared Detroit platform. Katie Montes is the Executive Director of Mary's Mantle and joins us now on the program. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Tyler. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you on to tell us about Mary's Mantle. Before we get into some of the specifics, just give us a little bit of the history and the background of your organization and some of the resources you provide.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mary's Mantle started in 2010. We are a residential program for homeless pregnant women throughout the Tri-County area. So we are located in Oakland County, but we definitely help moms and children all throughout the area.
And this is something that maybe doesn't get as much attention as it should, because we think about the homeless population, we simply think about people that aren't regularly living in a house or in an apartment or have a specific place that they're calling home. Maybe they're roaming around, they're going to shelters, they're living out of their cars. And typically when people think of a homeless person, they don't think of an expecting mother, but much like you and I and so many of us, they're living their people that are homeless are living their everyday regular lives too, and that includes parenting, that includes motherhood. So just how critical are these resources that you're providing, and what really are you providing to these expecting women and people that can get pregnant that are out on the streets?
Absolutely. I think that's a great point, Tyler. We often think of homeless people as, just being on the streets of Detroit, but homelessness can look a lot of different ways. So for a lot of the women that we see, homelessness just looks like a young woman who might be couch surfing, might be couch to couch, family to family, just not have a consistent, safe place to live, which is tough enough. Just if you're on your own, but when you're pregnant or a new mom, that those challenges just become more compounded. So that's really why Mary's Mantle was founded. Um, we are a small organization, but our goal is to provide safe housing for our women. Our home is in Southfield. We can provide housing and support for up to 4 moms at a time. So it's certainly not large, but our hope is that our moms stay at least 6 up to 12 months, even longer, if they want to, and have that safety and security that we can offer.
And that safety, that security, it's so critical because you're not just thinking about who is pregnant in this situation. You're also thinking about ultimately the baby that they're going to be having, and how this experience of being homeless may impact that child once they are born, and certainly even after they're born. And so, in terms of the resources you're providing to these expecting parents, beyond, of course, what we just discussed, how much of a focus also goes on, really protecting that expected child in this experience too, because they are going to be also impacted by the homelessness.
Absolutely. So we have a full-time social worker that works on site with our ladies, that provides all sorts of case management support. So whatever's going on in that young woman's life before they come to us, whether it's lack of education or lack of employment, transportation barriers, help connection with medical resources. A lot of the ladies that we help have not seen any OBGYN or received any prenatal care. So those are all things that Mary's Mantle is really going to start working with the mom right when she moves in. First, we want to make sure she feels safe and secure with us, but as soon as she's ready, we have staff who are just ready and willing to help with whatever it is the mom is ready to have help with.
And Katie, as we're talking about this, and we're talking about the resources you're providing these expecting parents when they're also ultimately, after they've had their child, after they've given birth, what sort of resources are provided then? Because they're of course still parents. They're not pregnant parents any longer, but they're now parents to a living, breathing child, and are still homeless. So what sort of resources are provided after the birth?
Yeah, absolutely. So our hope is that a mom stays with us for a while after the birth, and we're going to help her find stable housing. But then beyond that, Mary's Mantle provides aftercare support. So even after a mom moves out of the residential program, we continue to walk with her in her journey. So we have another social worker that stays on to support women up until when the child turns 5, and honestly, really beyond that too. We have our oldest Mary's Mantle baby is now 11, and so that continuation of support really goes far beyond. We can help with school enrollment, getting services in place, things like early on, things like that for the mom who might still be struggling with, having a young toddler or even a school age child. So we really want our moms to know we're here to walk with them the long haul.
You can get involved and you can find information on how you can also get help by visiting Mary's Mantle's website at marysmantle.net or go to sharedetroit.org and search for Mary's Mantle under their Find a Nonprofit section. You can also give them a call, 248 376 5338. 248 376 5338 for more information. Again, all of this is also cataloged on Share Detroit's website at sharedetroit.org. We're joined by Katie Montes, the Executive Director of Mary's Mantle, on today's edition of the Megacast. Katie, it can be tough for homeless individuals to get access to critical resources, whether it be, of course, shelter, but also work or food or other critical resources that they need day to day for themselves and for their families. And that can include getting in contact with organizations, finding a telephone to make a phone call, finding internet to research an organization or a shelter like yours that they could go to for some of these resources. So how typically are you getting in contact with these expecting parents?
Yeah, so a lot of times we get referrals from various hospitals. Social workers, especially, will reach out to us. They might see a young woman in the emergency room that is pregnant and needs support. Um, a lot of the crisis pregnancy centers in the area, so women who are seeking help, who are nearly newly pregnant and not sure what to do, they have our information. So it's really a word of mouth situation. We thankfully see a lot of sisters come through our program or friends. So somebody has been through our program and they say, "Hey, this program really helped me a few years ago. You should consider it too." Um, so it's really from all different avenues.
More information, again, can be found on marysmantle.net. That's marysmantle.net for more information, or you can call them 248 376 5338. 248 376 5338 for more information. And this also requires, like any nonprofit's work, a lot of support from the greater community and people that want to help these expecting parents and, of course, these children that are afflicted with homelessness. So how can people get involved to help your organization provide these resources and provide this comfort and stability to expecting parents?
Absolutely. So we are completely privately funded. Our annual budget's about $500,000 a year. And we do all that fundraising ourselves. So one great way to get involved is to support us financially or to attend one of our three fundraising events. And our first one is just 2 weeks away, which is at Top Golf in Auburn Hills. And so that is Sunday, March 18th. All the information is on our website. But it's just a great night out, a little bit of golf, some food and drinks and games. But it's a great way to not only support our ministry, but to learn about our ministry. So, somebody coming for the first time who might not know who we are or what we do, it's a great night to bring a friend and just really learn about the work that we do.
And to provide some perspective, what do you, and really even more importantly, what do these expecting parents, what do they wish that people knew more about being an expecting parent facing homelessness?
I think they just want to know that they're not alone. And so, our moms sometimes feel like, they're newly pregnant, maybe they're not even sure where to go, they might not have had the easiest childhood, and so they're scared. They want to know that there's support out there. And so that's the first thing we do. We let them know that they're not alone. And I think that goes a long way to kind of bridge that gap to help them down the road.
More information, again, can be found on marysmantle.net. Marysmantle.net is the place to go for more information. And in terms of how much this has an impact on these expecting parents, certainly on the children, give us some details on that, because you mentioned that the oldest Mary's Mantle baby at this point is 11 years old. You've been running this organization. This organization's been running since 2010. So just how much of a significant impact can these services have on these expecting parents and then certainly on their kids?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the beauty of walking with far beyond the birth of their babies, that we get to see kids who go to kindergarten and go off to school and things like that. So, it's not so much what we do for the moms, but it's what they do for themselves. Once they have a safe place and once they kind of have some security in that, we just we're there to walk the journey with them, but they're the ones doing the work, which is just such a blessing to be part of and to get to watch them really blossom and accomplish the goals that they want to.
Again, you can get in contact with Mary's Mantle and find more information on the organization, ways you can get involved, ways that you can help as well by visiting sharedetroit.org. You go to the Find a Nonprofit section and you search for Mary's Mantle and you'll find all the information you need. That's contact information, that's their website, volunteer opportunities, some items that they may need in order to help these expecting parents and to fulfill their mission. And of course, you can call them to get in contact and donate as well. Or you can go directly to their website, marysmantle.net. Marysmantle.net is their direct website, and call them 248 376 5338. 248 376 5338 for more information. We're joined by Katie Montes, who is the Executive Director of Mary's Mantle, on today's edition of the Megacast. Katie, and we mentioned some of the resources provided by Share Detroit, including lists of maybe items or other necessities for organizations that are supported on that platform. For your organization, for these expecting parents, for eventually these kids that are birthed from these expecting parents who are homeless, what are some of those critical resources that are needed that the community can support by donating to your organization, either those items proper or the funds that are needed to obtain them?
Yeah, absolutely. Funding is usually our biggest need. So just helping support our programs. Again, we're completely privately funded. We do have a Amazon wish list on Share Detroit's website that we love to get support through. So we provide everything that our moms need, from diapers to cleaning supplies, laundry detergent. All their basic necessities are provided by Mary's Mantle at no charge. And so, as you can imagine, we need a lot of things sometimes. So physically, there's lots of donations that we can accept through Amazon, or also there's a list found on our website as well of our current donation needs that we're accepting.
In just a little bit over a week away, you'll be having one of your fundraisers as well. A really fun way for people to get involved with your organization, have some fun out on the links, and support expecting parents in our local area. Tell us about your upcoming golf outing.
Yeah, so it's a great way to get out golfing before the official season starts for golfers. So Top Golf, in case people are not familiar, is an indoor facility in Auburn Hills. So no matter the weather, we can golf. We usually have just over 100 participants at the event. You don't have to be a golfer to come. I think it's actually more fun if you're not a golfer, but it's just a really great, fun way out to support the ministry, but also to just learn about what we do and just have fun.
Marysmantle.net is the place to go to learn more information. You can also register on their website. And again, that event is at Top Golf at Great Lakes Crossing in Auburn Hills on Sunday, March 19th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, March 19th, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you can register online. Tickets for the meal only, $25 for an individual person for the meal, and the golfing is $75. A team of 6 for $450, and proceeds are going to support expecting parents here in our local area that are afflicted with homelessness through Mary's Mantle, who's doing great work right here in Oakland County for parents, not just in Oakland County, but across the local area as well. We're joined on the program by Katie Montes, the Executive Director of Mary's Mantle. And Katie, a couple more minutes with you before we'll need to wrap up for the day. Anything else that we haven't discussed that would be important for our audience to keep in consideration about the work that you're doing or about your organization?
Sure, absolutely. I just encourage people, sometimes when you're hearing about a new organization, you might think in the back of your head, hey, that sounds like a place I could donate some time or talent or financial support. And that's how I came to Mary's Mantle. I heard about the organization, and I thought that really sounds like a place that I'd love to get involved in. And that was 8 years ago, and here I am. So I just encourage listeners and viewers to, if this is something that you feel like you might be able to help in some way, I encourage you to reach out. We are very responsive to emails and phone calls, and I'd be happy to talk with anybody more.
Over a decade of service to homeless expecting parents right here in our local area, and continuing to do great work as time goes on. Katie, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyler.